Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Jeff here. Today with another video of Brawl Stars, and in today's video we'll be doing another really high level gameplay. And for this season, well, for last season, when this gameplay was recorded, I was number 2 Jessie. I was really close to number 1. I was, my personal best for last season, or in total, was 798 trophies. I was really close to 800. Sadly, I tilted a little, and my highest record was number 1 in the world with Jessie. I have gotten there before twice, I believe. And so yeah, if you guys do want to see more of these high level gameplay, make sure to let me know in the description down, or in the comment section down below, so I can do more of these, because right now I'm really bored with my main account. I haven't logged in quite some time. I did do some other stuff like check on the band and such, but other than that I haven't played a single game in like probably like 4 or 5 days. So yeah, I've been just really trying to grind my meat. But if you do want to see high level gameplay, let me know, because I can just hop on my main and play some games there. And also, we just hit 2,000 subscribers. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much again. And so I will be doing a Q&A. So if you go look at my last video, I posted a video. So you guys can comment down anything in the comment section down below for the last video, and I'll pick comments from that video, and I'll answer a bunch of them. Hopefully I can get through all of them. Some of them, if your comment doesn't get picked, usually it just means like other people already commented it and are already going to like answer it, so there's no point of picking the same like questions over and over again. So I'm just gonna pick the ones that came in first. And yeah, so make sure to comment on that video, not this one, because I'll be choosing the comments from there and not this video. Unless it's like a pretty good question, then I'll just choose it from here. But yeah, make sure to comment the other video. And also, let me know if you guys want to see more premieres, because you know, for me it's pretty fun to do, but I'm not sure if you guys really like it. But yeah, anyways, let's get back to the gameplay. So we're playing some Jessie in Bonebox, and Jessie is one of like the best gem carriers right now since Poco got nerfed a while ago, and he's just kind of okay. The best one is probably Penny, just because of his turret as well as her attack. It's like her attack with Jessie is probably like around the same. I think Jessie does a little bit more, like 30-40 more damage. It's basically the same. And then, but Penny's turret is so much better than Jessie's turret in certain situations. Most likely in Gem Grab, Penny's turret is gonna dominate more, unless in like Bone Box or such. Because Jessie, you might not know this, but if you have Jessie's star power, she's like one of the, well, she's probably like the I don't know, second, third, or something best counter against a tank. Because of the first best is definitely Shelly, because you can just super and kind of change your super. But with Jessie, you don't even have to get close to like your opponent. You don't even have to be close to death, and you can just counter them completely. And just because if you put down your turret in a good spot, the opponent tanks would have to walk really up close to do a lot of damage. And when they do that, they will have to, you know, walk up close, and you can be able to just spam your heal at your turret. So it will heal your turret 800 health, and you stun all 3 of them, you'll heal up by 2,400, basically getting it back to full health. And let's say your opponent does kill it, most likely when it bounces off, if all your 3 shots hit the turret and it bounces off and it hits your opponent, which it will, because if your opponent's a tank and they're like coming up close to attacking it, it's gonna hit all 3 of your shots plus the turret's shots hitting your opponent. So all those shots, you're probably gonna get another turret back, and then you can put it down again. The opponents won't be able to kill it right away because they're already taking a lot of damage, unless it's like another teammate coming in try to kill it. Then you can repeat the same process, except for you have to kind of make sure that you have enough attacks. So what you want to do, some things that you have to really make sure of with your turret placement, and because Jessie's one of the best, so like definitely for Jessie and Penny and like such as Pam, the first thing you want to do in the game is try to get your turret as fast as possible, because that's what makes these brawlers strong, is your turret. So you need to get your super as fast as possible and try to put it down in a good position. So with Jessie, you have to look at your opponent has, let's say if they have a thrower, then you can't put your turret that up high, because the thrower can just easily kill it. You have to put it a bit back. But if, let's say, you see the opponent have a longer range, you can't really put it back that much, because they can kind of just snipe it. So you have to put it in a spot where it'll be a bit harder for the long range to shoot at. But if the opponent, let's say the opponent only has longer range, then you can just put it up high, kind of like in a more spawn typing position, more offensive position. But if the opponent has a long range and a thrower, then let's say like a Piper and a Dynamite, then you kind of have to switch up your placement of your turret, place it a little bit more back, to the point where the opponent, like longer range, will have to come up pretty close to actually hit your turret. And your the opponent thrower will also have to come pretty close. to actually hit your turret. And this also kind of just puts a little pressure. It's not really gonna do much. The turret is kind of more like a pressure kind of thing. Is you can't go as aggressive because you're always gonna have to keep in mind that turret that might hit you a couple times. So in like a long range battle, yeah, turret's not gonna really do much, but you can play her in maps such as like Bone Box. So the best maps for her, in my opinion, is Bone Box. Sometimes like Deep Hollow, she can be quite good because there's a lot of Mortis play there, and Mortis have a really tough time because if you have Mortis, you're not really gonna have Thrower. So Mortis is gonna have a really tough time against the turret. So yeah, you can also play her there, or you can play her in really good. Probably the best map for her is Temple Catacombs, because that map is just all about spawn trapping. And if you can get the turret up, then you guys have amazing spawn trap. You're like in a really great spawn trapping position. So yeah, with your turret, another thing you have to keep in mind of is where you're putting it. So you definitely have to put it behind the wall. If let's say there's always the best place to put your turrets. For example, for Bone Box, it's the place that you just saw. That's the best place to put a turret. But as you can see here, the wall is destroyed. I'm not gonna put it at the same spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna put it just a little bit back, a little like inside the grass still, but just a little bit back, like around like this wall that's in front of me. That's where I will put it. What I'm doing is actually since all the walls are destroyed, they're all longer range, I'm going to try to get a lot of health, or get my health back and have all 3 attacks. Because what you want to do when you put down your turret, or before you do it, you have to have, you don't always have to have full health, but try to have like at least 3/4 for your health like regenerated, or else if you put your turret down, you might actually die. And you also have to have all 3 attacks, because when you put your turret down, you want to spam attacks it, because what the opponents will do is, if they play it smart, they will just spam to, like all of their teammates will spam attacks at it, unless it's behind a wall and they can't hit it. Then obviously they're not gonna shoot at it because they can't hit it. So let's say you see what's also really important is if you see the opponents have like a tank, you don't always really just want to put turret up onto their face, because you are going to be able to heal it, but if you put it onto their face, they're just gonna be able to shot it, and you won't be able to get your heal fast enough. So try to put it in the spot where the tanks would need to walk up like a bit closer to it, so it gives you enough time to like spam your heals at your turret. And yeah, a lot of times you won't actually get it back right away, because the opponent might have killed it a bit faster than you expected. But yeah, it's still definitely like good pressure to your opponents. And obviously not a lot of people have max, well, not a lot of people have max count. So if you do not have a max count, what you want to do with Jessie's turret is to play it way like more defensive, just because of the fact that you actually aren't able to heal your turret up. So you have to put it more in the defensive situation, like in the more defensive spot, like basically on the opposite side, just on like basically your side of the map. That's where you want to put it. And yeah, you also have to make sure of you also have to make sure of the opponent, like if they have longer range. Sometimes if your opponent has like just, I guess like a Nita and like a Spike or something, or more like longer range, what you can do is you can just put a more aggressive turret, but you have to make sure that it's in a spot where the opponents will have to come pretty close up onto the map, like around the middle area, to actually shoot your turret, because that way they'll kind of get distracted. Either they kill your turret, or they target your teammates. So it gives your team kind of some time to like kind of shoot at them, because if they're just only try to take out your turret, then your opponent or your teammates will be able to take out your opponent. So you can also put it up there, but you just have to keep in mind that when you're putting it, you don't want to just toss it out there if your team is getting backed up. So you kind of want to toss it up there. There's actually one situation where you just want to toss it up there randomly, and that is if you're in a spawn trapping position. You want to be really careful, and what you want to do is you want to toss your turret basically and have it land somewhere close to the opponents, and spam your heal right away, because what that will do is it will back off the opponents, because once the heal hits the turret, it will bounce off the shots, and the opponent will have to immediately back off, or else they're going to get hit by the shot. So it allows your team to have some time to actually push up, but you also have to make sure that your team is actually fully healed up, or else if you just do that and like your team is not healed up, they're not going to be able to rush up because they have no HP. So make sure that your team is full health. And it's like basically in a desperate situation, if your team can't push up, that's like your last choice is just throw it there. You usually want to put it on the side, because if you do it on the side, then that means your teammates are able to push up on the side, and then they can help out with the mid as well. And then once you get the mid controlled, you can help out the other side. After you get all the sides and the mid done, you can just put them in a spawn trapping position, and sometimes that just kind of changes the game around from a spawn trapping from your team being spawn trapped, and you pushed up because that one turret placement, and then you get another turret, and then you just spawn trap the opponent and you just win the match. So that's kind of how you want to play with Jessie. You can definitely play a bit more aggressive, like putting your turret more aggressive or putting a bit more defensive. I personally like a more aggressive turret, especially against tanks, because like I said, even if even if they are like up close against your turret, you can just spam the heal on it, and it's really fun to just watch them like die to my turret. Just like they try to kill it, no, it just doesn't happen. But yeah, so anyways, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.